Welcome for RTL online trainings and welcome for the demo of Vision Financials Cloud Corporate Real-Time and Placement Training. Okay, especially practical oriented training. So before we go for start this particular demo session today, so I'll just go for first prerequisitions. What are the prerequisitions for this batch? If you want to join into this particular real-time oriented and practical, exclusively practical and market driven preparations and project oriented course, if you want to join, the prerequisitions are: make sure that you have already completed at least 50% of Vision Financials course. Make sure that you already completed 50% of Vision Financials course, or 100% if you already completed, that's fine. Because in this particular 2 months, I'm not going to teach right from the scratch. I'm going to give the assignments. And as a consultant, you are going to complete that particular assignment. During this assignment completion, wherever you get struck up, I'm going to help you in the live and go for complete the assignment. After that, we'll go ahead, prepare the documentation, and there will be an interaction, nothing but mock interviews and project discussion. And whatever we are going to do, the assignments, the same thing we are going to place it, put it on your training resumes, and the same thing we are going to do it in our projects in the real time also. Yeah, please keep it on mute. In case if you have any doubts, you can unmute and ask for the doubts, because it will disturb the session. Okay, fine. So we were talking about the prerequisitions. So this is going to be a daily 3 hours session, 6 p.m. IST, or most probably at 5:30 p.m. IST. 5:30 p.m. IST to 8:30 p.m. IST, 3 hours. In this 3 hours, it's going to be the financials practical oriented training, which we are going to conduct. It's going to be daily 3 hours. And every week, market at least for 3 hours, either Saturday or Sunday, it will be there. Okay, so it's going to be daily 3 hours. In this 3 hours, 80% the consultant has to do the work. I'm going to explain only the 20% of the component. For example, in account payables module, we have different types of invoices, like standard invoice, credit memo, debit memo, withholding tax, interest invoices, recurring invoices, interest invoices, allocation. These are different types of invoices. For example, credit memo invoice, I'll give you an assignment. Let's configure the credit memo invoice today. Then you have to make sure that you have to create yourself your own supplier and create a standard invoice for the supplier and raise the credit memo for that supplier and go for deduct the amount. Means you have to attach your credit memo to standard invoice and make sure that the amount has been deducted. Generally, this will do it in our training. But when we are going to work in the project, the issues will be raised. Whenever we create an invoice account, invoice creation, we are not getting the accounts generated. So whatever the accounts are generated, those are not populated properly. You got somewhere issue. So you must know from where the accounts needs will be generated, what are the accounting events will be generated. That we will be discussing. And of course, I'll explain how we can process, sequence of steps I'll give it. And the student has to perform all these transactions one by one. It's going to be. Okay. For example, supplier merging concept is there. whenever we go for supplier matching, what is the meaning of supplier match? So there is one supplier who is already available with us, having some invoices, purchase orders. Now the supplier has merged with some other company. So the new company name we want to go for update. Existing invoices, we will do it. It will be updated. Then what will happen to the existing supplier? That we wanted to see it practically. How we can go for create a new supplier, like how to make it as a prospective supplier as spend authorized suppliers. How we can configure the approvals. For example, we are going to, the batch is going to have maximum 10 members. We are not interested to take more than 10 members. If we take more than 10 members, then we cannot put individual concentration. It's difficult for me as a trainer to place the concentration towards to the consultant. It will be difficult. So that's the reason we will have maximum 10 members for batch. It's going to be like procure to pay, for example. If we are going for procure to pay cycle, then one person will create a requisition, another person will create RFQ, another person will create a quotation for that, another person will create a purchase order and receipt, invoice is all going to be raised by each person. So that what will happen? The entire session, 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever we are going to have, all the 10 members will be active, because we don't know who has to do it. If the candidate is not performing as per assignment, then we are not going to continue with that. It's because one day early I'm going to tell that, for example, I will explain today that tomorrow we are going to work order to cash cycle, and I'll share the videos which are related for that order to cash. Whatever the assignment we are going to do tomorrow, I'll share those videos. As you have already completed the training, you have to just brush up the things, but you have to do it practically, because 10 members are in the session. 10 members are going to be in the session. Each person is going to put 3 hours valuable time. It means 30 hours of valuable time is there. So whenever we are doing the assignment, we should not waste the remaining 9 members' time, right? So by assignment starting time, you have to make sure that you have completed all the practicals early, and you enter into the session and make sure that everything is completed. And then finally you have to go for explain whatever the work, because explanation, which is very important for us. For example, when we go for an interview, they'll ask you, tell me which scenario you raised the credit memo or debit memo. What are the different scenarios? Let's say you are working for a banking client, ING Vaishya banking client. This client is using the Oracle Fusion Financials software to maintain their accounting transactions. Now, tell me in which scenario, because you are already involved in the implementation and development stage, and testing and production and support is going on. Can you tell me which scenario you have seen some credit memos or debit memos which are raised? So we have to be very clear for that. We might have created number of credit memos and debit memos in our practice, but we have to explain the business scenario to the interviewer. Couple of business scenarios. We cannot explain all business scenarios which are exist in the project. In fact, they'll also not expect all, but couple of things they'll expect, that we should be very clear over here. Okay. And when it comes to the other area, like object oriented, in the sense interview point of view, mock interviews, that we will be doing it is 1-to-1. So we'll be deciding 3 members as a team, and we are going to have a mock interviews for that, and interview questions will be there. Here we are going to perform all the interview questions, and everything will make it as theoretical and practical. For example, they'll ask you, can you tell me the difference between the journals which are posted and journals which are not posted? In general ledger module, we created the journals. One journal I have posted, one journal I have not posted. What could be the difference between this? That we are going to see practically. In case if the period is in open status, can we go for post the journals? If the period is future enterable status, can we go for post the journals, or at least can we create a journals? If the period is closed, can we go for post the journals? Can we go for create the journals? Like this all, it's not only the theoretical, we are going to see practically. That's the reason we are going to have 3 hours per day, and we are going to make sure that this 3 hours is going to be effective. It's not something you will come into this session and do this some head and trial, or something you are trying to perform some activity here. You have to complete the task already, and you are supposed to give the presentation here. That's what I can say simply. It's not the practice. Make sure that the basic thing you have already completed, and here I'll give you a little bit different assignment. Then you have to be ready to take up that challenge and work. And during that assignment, if any error comes, or you got struck up, or any doubts, or how we have to project this in the resume, how we have to project in front of the interviewer, that's what we are going to discuss. And finally, we want to make the consultants to do the interview self. That is what our main motto of this particular training. Last 2 years, a lot of things happen, like proxy and other things. I don't want to get into that too much discussion. But now the things are changed. The companies are asking to come to office weekly, 1 day or twice, and interviews are going to happen face to face, or with a lot of instructions and other. Here it is. Okay, so that's why it's better to be prepared ourselves when even we are applying as an experienced consultant, and we should be in a position to clear the interviews, and we should be in a position to work ourselves as independently in the project. Like job support, we don't want to use that word at all. We can take help. I cannot say that everybody is 100% strong, 100% clear, but we must be clear. For example, even I will not be knowing some of the things whenever we are doing some assignments. Definitely I'll try to do it either Google or Metalink or some other blogs or some other YouTube professionals videos, because not only me, there are some hundreds of professionals are preparing the content, their valuable knowledge they are sharing across the platforms. So we have to utilize that, joining in multiple Telegram groups and try to utilize and get it. That way of help is common, that every IT developer is required. So obviously we will be also doing that. But when it comes for the job support, that is not expected, because we should be in a position to do that work. So this is all we are going to, that is our main motto. Whoever is ready to say that I want to clear my interview, I don't want someone else to be involved in this particular activity, then this is the course where you can go for join. And we'll be talking about all the financials modules. We'll be doing the practice of all GL, AP, AR, GL, AP, AR, cash management, expense, and then fixed assets. When it comes for technically, BI reports, OTBI, dashboards, FBDI, conversions, and smart view. Functional, we are going to have FSC reports, statement generator reports. This is all we are going to discuss. Accounting generators. So it's going to be a 2 months full-fledged. As I said, Monday to Friday daily 3 hours, and Saturday we are going to have mock entry. So it's going to be full-fledged training, and all this we'll be talking. As I said, 80% of the work I will ask you to do it in front of me, and you are going to give the presentation. so that it will improve your confidence level. For example, in the interviews, they'll ask you for a particular purchase order, the invoice is already raised. Okay. And that time, what happened? Purchase order is closed. When you create an invoice for a particular purchase order, invoice is closed. But there are some changes I want to do. Supplier has came to me that let's go for a rollback it. Can we do it? If the purchase order is closed, can we do it? There is another status, purchase order finally closed. Can we go for rollback or make some changes in the accounting entries or any other things when it comes for purchase order finally closed? What could be the difference between these two? So this type of real-time issues will be coming. Otherwise, let's say when we talk about in the cash management point of view, for example, your client says that we created an payables invoice from the supplier and we made the payment. It means accounts also created for invoice and payment also is done to the supplier. Accounts is created, transferred to GL and reconciled in cash management. Reconciliation also is completed in cash management. Now I want to go for rollback this entire process. Can we do it? If we say yes, we want to do, yes, we can do, then what is the procedure? From where we have to start? For example, whenever we are working with chart of accounting structure, your client is using 6 segments. Company, of course, company and account is mandatory. Sub-account, line of business, and the cost center. 5 segments are used. In cost center segment, your client is telling that there is one value in cost center segment. Definitely when there is a segment, obviously value set will be created having some code and description. That value set, one value client wants to disable it. Can we do it? If so, what is the procedure? Generally, what we'll do, we'll say that yes, cost center segment, we have to cross check which value set is assigned for that. We have to search that value set and then go for, there are 2 options. You can use checkbox or you can go for use start date and end date and go for disable the value. Yeah, that's fine. But what happened to the transactions which are in open status for that particular code? There are some invoices which you have just entered. So what will happen for that invoice? Because you already entered the invoice that created. Now you try to create accounting transaction. It means that invoice is in open status. So what will happen to the open transactions? Because you disabled the segment value here and you are trying to generate the accounting combination over there. Definitely it will throw the error message, right? So before you go for disable any particular value, segment value in the segment, then you are supposed to check any accounting transactions are pending for that particular transactions. Any open transactions are there. There is some accounting analysis reports are there we need to submit to find out that open transactions. First of all, we have to close or cancel those transactions. Then we have to go for disable. Like that, we have to go for identify. For every project, at least 4 to 5 real-time scenarios, we have to be clear. Some of the things practically we will do it. Some of the things theoretically will be clear. Theoretically in the sense, for example, integrations are there. Let's say as a functional consultant, obviously they'll ask you, have you involved in the integration of the applications? Because when your clients are there, when client is going to have multiple applications, when they want to integrate the data between the applications, as a functional consultant, we are supposed to give the business flow, how we have to extract the data, how we have to import the data, mapping of the data, columns, validations, cross-checking this. So that's somehow they will ask you, like, have you involved in integrations? Yeah, we have to say that, yes, we have involved. But we may not be able to do it practically here because we don't have multiple applications and tools. It takes some months' time to integrate the applications, right? But we must know the flows. For example, in our previous project, Fusion applications, Fusion AR module, they'll utilize only for rise the transaction. We are going to just create a transaction here and create accounting. As soon as accounting is created, then the information will be transferred to the customer accounting hub. There is a separate software accounting hub. From there, they have some other customer ticketing tool is there that will collect the amount from the customers. Generally, in AR module itself, will go for create a receipt, a new status, and after that confirmed status, remitted status, clearing status, right? But here client is telling that there is a separate tool which we use to collect the amount from the customers. Everything will do here itself. It means receipt creation and confirmation, then remittance in the bank, clearing in the bank. But finally, that receipt details will be comes to Fusion. In Fusion, again, we are going to create a receipt. But the process, everything happens here. After collecting the amount over there, then finally it comes to Fusion receipts. Here we are just going to get the data from legacy system. We are not going to do it manually here. Receipt, once it is created, it will be transferred. So this is a collecting module, receivables module, which is having because the clients are very much familiar with other tools. They don't want to close that tool. They want to continue that with Fusion applications. So in that scenario, obviously integration is very important, and we should be in a position to be. We don't write any coding here. That is not our job. That is a technical developer's job. But as a functional consultant, we are supposed to explain what information client is required for the legacy system, and from there what information is required for us to create in receivables module or payables module, whatever the module integrations we are doing over here it is. Okay, so like this we are going to discuss at least 4 to 5 scenarios for project, because when we go for an entry they'll expect this, and we should be very clear about the process or the issues which we face during this integration and all. Here it is. Okay, so that's how the trainings will go on. As I said, practical, it's purely practical. If at all I'm going to assign some theoretical assignment, I'll make sure you have to do it in offline in the sense, other than this 3 hours, whatever the daytime you have to utilize that and prepare and come back here, because it's purely practical, and we'll just share the instance and start working. So we can say it's completely presentation point of view. Your presentation is hearing 9 members, including me, it's going to be 10 members. So you have to be very careful when you are going to give the practical oriented presentation process and all. Somebody will ask the doubts also. You should be clear to say that, yes, it's done or not, these all things. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts here so far, whatever we have discussed, please.
Yeah, I have a doubt here.
Please go ahead.
So are you going to cover fusion tax concept also? Because it is interlinked to AR and AP also, right?
Yes, taxes we will be talking. I think I forgot to specify that in this module.
Okay.
We'll be talking about fusion taxes for payables and receivables, simulation tax, transactional tax, regime code, how we can prepare, and we'll be applying in the AR invoice based on supplier ship to location will rise in the AP invoice also. This all will be working.
Okay, and for BI, what concepts will be covered under that?
Which one? Sorry.
BI.
It's a BI reports. Yes. This is required. See, for example, we are involving in the data migration. Let's say we are trying to load the suppliers information in the cloud. Data migration maximum functional consultant has to do, because it's maximum validated data only we are getting from the client, and we'll try to load into the applications here. So by using a BDA, spreadsheet data loaders and all. So there are some integrations by using OSCS, Oracle Integration Cloud Services, and we will be using the REST and SOAP APIs for data integrations. That we will not be involving, because that's required purely consultants, technical guys. integration consultants. Okay, so here let's say we loaded supplier data, and out of 1000 records, so let's say 980 records loaded successfully, but 20 records has been rejected. It means those 20 records are there in the interface table with error status. I just wanted to view that information. Where we can view that information, we have to go to BI environment and write a simple select statement. Select star from interface table where batch ID equal to this, or like this numbers, and we have to go for check the data. And let's say the supplier is loaded successfully, and then after that we try to load supplier address, then supplier sites, and then supplier contacts information. We are supposed to cross check the supplier and corresponding addresses are loaded or not. So we must have an idea like what is the primary and foreign correlation between those tables. And that basic SQL things are required, even though if we are a functional consultant, that we are going to learn in the BI reports. And some of the important reports we are going to learn, for example, account payables month ending period close. So when you are trying to close the period, we are running some processes, and those processes are going to update the information in the backend and trying to do validations. So what are those processes? For those processes, where do we see the source code? That and all we are going to see in BI, and as well as in OTBI also we are going to see a couple of examples, but we will not go for in-depth of designing the BI reports, busting layout, e-text templates, PDF templates, Excel outputs, because that's not our job. It's technical guys, but we should have an idea how it can be done, BI reports and OTBA dashboards that we are going to discuss. Yeah, is clear?
Yes, it's clear. And how about that cloning process?
I'm sorry, cloning in the sense
Means migrating data from dev to UAT or
that is a simple. See, in the cloud environment, data migration from development to testing and testing to production. This cloud, generally Oracle will do it. Oracle will take care of the functional setups. Otherwise, we can also do it implementation project where we can go for import and export the setups from one instance to another. But it's a simple thing that's but important. Because all the setups has been migrated or not, we are supposed to cross check. Generally senior level consultants will do, but still we'll be discussing theoretically, and we'll do a couple of examples in that.
Okay, thanks.
Yes guys, any other doubts?
Yeah, good evening, Sir Sandra.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, actually the prerequisite you said you should know official financials 50%.
Yes. Make sure that, for example, in the morning we have already running one batch, 50% of the syllabus is completed. They can join like that.
Okay, because I am completely new, that's why I'm asking.
Oh, sorry. If it is new, then you need to come for the next batch.
For next.
Yes.
So when
because,
is okay? When is going to start the next batch?
after 2 months.
2 months only.
Yes.
Does that mean you
Normal, yeah, normal batch which will be going on. You can be in touch with our admin person. They will be explaining you when the batch will be started, normal batch.
Okay, then only I can join this course. I mean,
Yes. Because what I'll do is, let's say tomorrow we are going to talk about supplier merging process and as well as the supplier approvals. Okay. So I'll share the around 2 to 3 hours video today itself. If you already done the course, that you can go through, and tomorrow in our session you can perform and you can go for rectify any problems you face during that. And if somebody has changed the setups also, you can go for clear those errors. It's like almost working in the project.
Okay, fine. Got it. Got it. So I have to start from the scratch, me to say. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Sandra. Yes. Thank you.
And we are going to, when it comes for the placement point of view, I'm sure that everybody, whoever has performs this 2 months strictly, practically, whatever we have taught, perfect, without absence. If you do it 100%, you will get placed. We are getting a lot of requirements from the companies as a trained freshers, which they offer between 4 to 6 lakhs per year. Depends on your performance. And some companies obviously will be trying outside with 3+ and 4+ of experience. When we apply as 3+ and 4+ experience, the package will be minimum 7 lakhs to maximum 10 lakhs. Now the market is going on, and you will be able to clear the interview yourself. And we are going to help you to prepare the resume, interview point of view, project, as well as the working. And there is no question of, as I said, depending on someone else for interview preparation, depending on someone else for, for job support. This is all we want to eliminate. That is main motto of our RTL online training we have. Yeah.
So what about the instance?
We will be providing that, don't worry. So instance
how
is
much?
our responsible.
For
We
how much?
got, sorry,
For how many months?
we are ready to give for 5-6 months, but your intention should be here like 2 months training means third month you must be in the job. That type of mindset you have to come up. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Yes.
you.
So you have to come. We are ready to provide the instance for 6 months also. That is not a problem. But you have to be very clear. You have to be, very tentative that you have to get a job in the third month. So that you should not go for leave this. Here it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, please. Any other?
Sir, you
doubts?
said training will be is that it is 6 to 9, right?
Yes, yes. It
So
will
is
be
there
6.
any other new time possible?
No other timing, because I'll be busy till 5 o'clock, my office timings, right?
Okay.
Morning 10 to 5, my office timings. Then 6 will be starting. And that is going to be, it's mandatory that people who says that it's difficult for us to join, means attending every 3 hours. So please do not join, because this is because you already learned, right? If it is something new you are trying to learn, then it's okay, but you already learned. But this, we want the result. It's 3 hours. You have to be active and practical without the disturbance of anything. And after that also, these 2 months you have to dedicate for this technology. This 2 months, sorry, not, I thought I said 2 hours. 2 months. 3 hours is a presentation time, which you 3 months, sorry, 3 hours. If you want to give a presentation, then earlier preparation also is required, right? So that's how we will be here, and we will be here very friendly activity, like you, if you are going to share the screen and going to explain. If there are any struck up means errors you are facing, I'm ready to give the clarity here, and all we are going to provide.
Sir, are you going to providing the material or any?
Yes, Oracle documents only we are going to prepare. From that only we are going to prepare the interview questions and all. It is like, for example, last time we have some interviews, they have asked like, what is balance forward billing? Why we need balance forward billing? For example, why we need debit memo reversal? In which scenario we require? So we can say that debit memo reversal is nothing but reverse the standard receipt, and then we are going for create a debit memo. But what is the reason? What is the reason? And what we are going to create that based on the options like invoice. We don't want to go for rollback, and we want to continue the invoice and make the debit memo reversal option. It will be used. Yes.
Along with recorded videos.
Sorry.
Along with recorded videos, or only.
No, this batch 90% generally we don't find a recording, because you are going to perform, right, work. So here 90% there won't be any recording, and in fact the entire work the student is going to do it here. I am here to help you and make sure that it is completed. So when you are doing the work, then the this what we call it as recordings are not required, because Previous 2 batches we have not done. Around 60% has got placed because we want to keep this entire subject in our mind. And I'll tell you that how we have to remember the things, because when we do some work in GL module, after that enter AP, when it comes for AR module, by that time we'll forget in GL module what is validation rule and what is segment values aliases, what is meant by suspense account, what is CVR rules, like primary ledger, secondary ledger, why we required secondary ledger, what are the mandatory things required for secondary ledger, like this. So I will give a proper plan to remember all these things. Just you have to follow that to make sure that even if we are in the last module, also make sure that the first module things also will be an active. So that's how we are supposed to go for prepare. That we'll be doing it here. So I'm sure I'm telling once again, we are not going to record the session because this is purely practical oriented, done by the student, assignment and everything. So if you want to go for a record from your laptop or something, do it, no problem. We cannot control that, but we will not go for record and do it because we want make the student be active and complete. Any doubts is there itself, you have to raise. Yes, I'm not clear why we are doing this, what happened and why we are not able to do it. So this is, as I said, it is student practical task. So we felt that recording is not required. Maybe some of the topics I am going to cover, because which is not covered in the general batches. General batches which is not covered means generally in the trainings. Maybe that I don't want to blame others or even our general batch also. So due to some heavy syllabus or something, some of the things, then I will record those things. I will share that. I'll go for share those things. Here it is. Yes.
Yeah, hello sir, I'm Jayavardhan.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I just got to know from LinkedIn. Is it Gauri? Is it? I just joined bit late, 20 minutes.
Okay, no problem. It is basically all this entire video, whatever we have discussed, I'll be uploading in okay, in RTL online trainings. I request everyone please subscribe, because you can see that whatever regular in the interview point of view, they'll be asking us, all that I'm going to upload. The question and answer with practical assignment, I'll be doing it. So how it can be done, recurring invoices and all. So you can go for subscribe, and today whatever we are discussing, that also will be uploaded. You can access from here.
Yeah. Is it Gauri Agarwal? I don't.
Maybe they are from this department.
Okay. I got to know from the LinkedIn actually.
Got it. Yes, got it. They may be from this department, recruitment, in the sense publicity department. They might be.
Yeah, may I know your name, please?
Myself, this is Chandra from RTL. Yes.
Okay. I'm actually I'm into EBS project.
Oh,
And
okay.
I've learned some other institute actually, this Oracle Fusion Financials.
Okay.
So in EBS I have a 4.5 years. So I learned this course Oracle Fusion, but I want a real time experience as well, like practical, whatever you're mentioning, it's relevant for me.
Yeah, we will be discussing purely on Fusion Cloud Finance.
Okay.
Complete practical.
Fine. I mean, you will explain each and functionality wise, like whatever placement you.
Yeah, we will be talking about each and everything. Right?
Okay.
For example, if we talk about the invoices in account payables, all 12 types of invoices will be discussing. Okay. If we talk about account receivables, all 6 types, like invoice, credit memo, debit memo, chargeback, and balance forward billing. This all will be talking here.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, Chandra, one more doubt.
Yeah, please.
Out of curiosity, I'm asking, if we are able to learn Fusion properly, can we able to manage EBS?
No, I don't think so, because EBS responsibilities and all, it is different. but here it is different. It means manage in the sense you want to work in EBS, or you are from EBS background.
No. I'm not from EBS background. Just learned Fusion itself.
Okay, so
But
you
what
would
I
like
heard
to
is maybe
put up both, is it?
yeah.
We can put 1 year experience, for example, out of 4 years. If you want to put 1 year EBS, initially your career starting, and last 3 years you are working on Fusion Finance. So maximum things is the same: accounting, entries, type, supplier, everything. Screens are different. Here roles we are using, their responsibilities. Here data access we are using, there we will be using the profiles. Here we call it as processes, we'll call it as their concurrent programs. Like that, some naming conventions are different, so that they may expect the naming conventions.
Okay.
So one time we can go for perform. So we have the EBS videos. If somebody says that, for example, in Fusion account payables, if you want to learn, it takes 2 weeks time. But once you learn Fusion Finance, in EBS, it will be 2 days time, because the same thing we'll be doing: header line, distribution, set payment terms, and invoice, credit memo. No difference. Just
The only difference is UI and the naming conventions, right?
naming conventions. Few things like reference data set and all, it is different. In EBS, no reference data set. Directly will assign to operating unit. Here we'll be using that.
Okay, thanks.
Chandra, you also provide a placements after completion of this course, or?
This is our placement batch only.
I mean,
The batch which we are going to conduct is make sure that you should clear the interview and get placed. That's the reason only 25% of, I think 25 or 20% of the amount we are taking in shell. The remaining 80% you are going to pay after you get a job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, otherwise, see, daily 3 hours for 2 months, daily 3 hours. It's mandatory. Daily 3 hours, 6 days. Saturday also will have a 3 hours, but that will be market. Okay. 6 days means it will be 18 hours per week and 4 weeks per month. It's going to be around 70 hours per week, 70 to 75 per month. 2 months means it's going to be 150 hours of valuable training we are going to do, purely practical. With real-time trainer, you are going to sit and do this, right? So, but what we decided is, as the employees are trying for a jobs, we want to collect only 20% of the amount initially. The remaining 80% you will be going to pay once you get a job.
Okay. And just want to know, what is the success rate of earlier batches?
Yeah, so far it is 60%. I'm sure remaining people also will get, because of this November and December, that 40% is little bit taking time. I'm sure 100% people. That's what I'm telling in the starting stage itself. If you are not able to spend the 3 hours practical time here, at least 2 to 3 hours offline preparation, then please do not attend. This will not be a clearing for your also, because when you are giving the 3 hours presentation, you should be clear English. Your communication will be improved. Mock interviews, your subject will be discussed, improved, and subject we are going to do everything. Even if you are in AR model doing practice, I'll ask you, can you configure one primary ledger, attach and prepare a secondary ledger, and make the accounting entries are automatically substituted to the secondary ledger when the accounts are being completed. So you should be in a position to do that. So when you are able to perform that dynamically, if I ask you, then you will clear the entry. So for example, we are sitting in session now. All of a sudden, I'll ask you, can you configure one withholding tax invoice for supplier, new legal entity, new business unit? Or you take existing legal entity, existing BU, that's fine. But take the new supplier and create a new withholding authority, and then go for configure this and payables and show me the result. Like 20% of withholding tax has been deducted, like that. Okay. So that's how remotely, if you are able to do, when you go for an interview, other than this, what they need, right?
Can we put a 3 years of experience with this?
Yeah. We are going ahead with 3 and 4, these two. So 4 also we are going. 4 is required also in the market, and in fact, we are going to get that much of knowledge after completion of this.
Yeah, when this batch will start?
Yeah, it's tomorrow itself. I think tomorrow Tuesday, maybe due to that, but I'm sure tomorrow itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I given the number, please communicate with them.
Sure.
Through WhatsApp or normal number, you can come.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. Good evening.
I have few doubts because I have read some job descriptions. Like they were asking for documentations like BR100, MD50. Will you teach us that?
We'll be doing that in our documentation. We are going to discuss FSD, functional specification document, BR100 setup document, OEM methodology, different phases in our project. Like when we are working in fusion applications, there will be a different phases in the project. Requirement.
And minimum they were asking like a end-to-end implementation project of 2 or 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll do that, sir.
UAT said, just I'll come to you.
Yeah.
And, production support. We'll be telling that we started working with development, designing and requirement gathering. Generally, solution architect do it.
Okay.
So if you say I have done the designing, that expectation is completely different. So very senior level consultant will do. We can say that from the development, we involved testing, production, and support. If you have some requirement, I'm ready to communicate with the client and gather the requirement and go for prepare a documentation, designing and all. We can do it. That way also we can go for experience. And the project, whatever the assignments we are going to do in our training, the same assignment we are going to put in our resume. The same thing we are going to do it in our project also. It's going to be, because in the ERP, ERP is not something like other tools. For example, we are learning some tool or we are learning some language, then definitely we have to build a project. But we are working in the ERP. It means that itself is already application. It's already enterprise application. What we are trying to do, we are trying to make some changes in the product and configurations and test the application and deliver to the client. That's how we are going to do it, right? Yes, yeah.
And you're also going to cover the project types of like support, implementation, rollout.
We'll be discussing what is the rollout project and what is supporting project. What are the documents we'll be preparing in that here.
Sir, let's say when we are working in the job, if we get any queries, there will be any type of communication with you, sir, after the course also?
Yeah, we'll be having Telegram groups. Through that, we'll be communicating with the consultants. That's not a problem. We'll be doing it. Yeah.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you. So one more thing, if you want to do any type of certifications, will you guide us, sir? Means how to
certifications, generally we are not interested.
Okay.
No, we are not in a position to do that. In India, generally certifications, 90% companies will not give the preference. If you are moving to some abroad or foreign countries at client location, they'll say, I need a certificate consultants under. But once this particular course is completed, if at all you want to do certification in module, you can do it. I think for every module, they charge 25,000 for Oracle certification, payables implementation consultant, receivables implementation consultant. So they can clear those things.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Sir, hello.
Yes.
On the certifications, like for a finance professional, what was the best option? Like, let's say if you want to choose only one certification from AP, AR, and GR, what was the demand skill there?
See, the demand, obviously payables will be there in every company.
Okay.
So payable certification will be there.
Okay, accounts payable certification.
Yeah.
So I was I haven't taken any fusion course yet from you, and I was just working in EBS RTL. So could you please let me know when the batch will start for this financials?
That's why I said you contact to this number. They'll provide the schedule.
Expected time or something like when did this will
They'll be
start?
knowing it. They'll be knowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
And guys, that's the demo about your corporate batch. You can communicate with our
online.
Please. It's purely online only. There is no question of offline. Offline, I'll be there in Hyderabad, in Ameerpet office. Morning,
In Hyderabad, Ameerpet.
morning 10 to 5, I'll be there. Any doubts, I can clarify in case if somebody wants to communicate with me, and then it's okay. But other than that, remaining everything is on online. You are going to do the assignment, you have to share the screen, you must have a good internet connection, because without two-way communication, this batch is not going to be success and it's not going to be useful. Make sure that the student must to share the screen and do the work, and I'll be here to guide.
Hi, sir. This is Mohan.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. I joined little late the demo sessions. So, may know the timing is the fixed like 6 to 9, or there is any?
Yeah, it is fixed maximum 6 to 9.
Okay. So, at least the weekend batches, do you have?
No, only weekdays only. Weekend we do not have generally. Weekdays only. Maybe if you join 30 minutes more or less, it's not a problem, because 30 hours assignment.
Okay. Actually, my office timing is from 11 to 11:30 to 8:30 like that. So,
then it will be difficult, right? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, in the most of the times.
You can communicate with them. If they have other plans, they will tell.
Okay, sir.
But this batch, what we are going to start from tomorrow, it's going to be at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you.
And guys, let's see you tomorrow on the batch at 6 p.m. Thank you.